Yo, it's good everyone. This is AEO Boxing from Mediba, and we're here to talk about why Teofimo Lopez isn't a superstar in boxing. So as we all know, Teofimo Lopez defeated Steve Claggett this past Saturday, and it was an entertaining fight, and it was a solid performance by Teo. Teo did look good for most of the fight, but it wasn't a spectacular win, nor did it set the internet on fire. Matter of fact, Teo is getting a lot of criticism for his performance by fans, and his win was overshadowed by Bam Rodriguez. And other than picking up a check and staying active, Teo didn't gain much from this fight. It didn't boost his profile or increase his star power, and even if he made a statement with this win, like getting a huge KO, I doubt it would have increased his stock because Steve Claggett is a 35-year-old with 7 losses and was virtually unknown by the vast majority of fans outside of Canada. Furthermore, the promotion for this fight was non-existent. Granted that this fight was on the same night as Bam vs Estrada and UFC 303, so it makes sense why Top Rank wouldn't want to waste money or resources on promoting this fight. But you would think that Top Rank would choose a better date for Teo, who's considered one of the biggest names on the Top Rank roster. So this begs the question, why isn't Teofimo Lopez a superstar in boxing? And the main reason is that Teo is inconsistent and unreliable. This is mainly his fault. Let me explain. When it comes to boxing accolades, Teo is one of the most accomplished in this generation. He beat a pound-for-pound Lomachenko as the underdog, becoming the lineal unified champion at lightweight. And then he moved up to 140 to beat an undefeated Josh Taylor as the underdog, making him a 2-division lineal champion. Normally, a boxer with those type of accomplishments and wins would be a big name with a lot of momentum, fighting against other big names, and on a track to becoming a boxing superstar. However, despite being a bigger name than what he was a few years ago, this isn't the case for Teo. As seen in his last couple of fights, Teo is still fighting in theaters. This past Saturday, he was fighting at the James L. Knight Center, which is a small theater that holds a max of 4,000 people, and the tickets were selling as low as $25. This is vastly different compared to his contemporaries. Gervonta Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney all fight in arenas and sell them out, with ticket prices ranging from $100 and up. Even Shakur Stevenson, a guy who's seen as boring in boxing, has headlined more arena fights than Teo. Teo and his fans may act like they don't care about this since Teo's chasing legacy, but I know for a fact that this does bother Teo because he's made several remarks that display signs of jealousy, like telling Top Rank that they can keep the black fighters and downplaying the star power of Haney, Tank, and Ryan. But as stated before, Teo can only blame himself for not being a superstar on the same level as his counterparts, because Teo was in a great position to propel himself into boxing superstardom after beating Lomachenko in 2020. Teo became pound for pound and was the top dog at lightweight. This also inflated his ego and his self-worth, which is understandable. However, he felt like he wasn't getting paid enough by Top Rank. Teo apparently made about $600K against Lomachenko, while guys like Tank, Haney, and Ryan were making millions per fight around the same time. And according to Bob Arum, this led to Teo demanding crazy money for his mandatory, George Kambosos. Bob Arum would refuse, which led to a purse bid that Triller would win, putting down $6 million. This would have been Teo's biggest payday at the time, and this Triller play could have worked out well for Teo's career as the fight was staged in Miami when everything was opening back up from the pandemic. But several delays that pushed the fight back for almost a year would mess this up. Triller would then back out, making the fight go to another purse bid, and Eddie Hearn and Matchroom would win and have the fight on DAZN, and the rest is history. Teo would lose this fight, which killed his hype and dropped his stock immensely. And this whole fiasco would cost Top Rank money, time, and resources. Within 1 year, Teo went from winning the upset of the year in a pound-for-pound performance to losing in the upset of the year in a disappointing performance. And this is the first instance of inconsistency and unreliability that has followed Teo's career since then. Teo had a dominant win for his first fight at 140 against Pedro Campa, which led to a lot of promotion from Top Rank, but he would almost lose to Sandor Martin in his next fight, which led to a lot of criticism and doubt. Teo was then seen as an underdog and expected to lose going into the Josh Taylor fight, which led to Top Rank barely promoting that fight. However, Teo would win in a spectacular fashion, which led to his stock increasing to almost the same heights after the Lomachenko fight. However, Teo would be inactive for the rest of 2023, which killed a lot of his hype and momentum. Teo was then given a huge opportunity to fight during the Super Bowl weekend against Jermaine Ortiz, and that fight was heavily promoted by Top Rank. but Teo would almost lose to Ortiz in a boring fight and received a lot of criticism and backlash, which led to Teofimo Lopez fighting Steve Claggett, a fight that was barely promoted by Top Rank, with Teo putting on an above-average performance. As you can see, this is a pattern of inconsistency. You cannot become a boxing superstar like this. Promoters cannot invest, promote, or push something that is not producing consistent and guaranteed results. Furthermore, fans lose interest in boxers when they're unpredictable. Like what they say, you're only as good as your last fight. It's that simple. Teo is a risk for promoters and fans watching. The easiest way for Teo to become a superstar in boxing is to become consistent. Teo already has the charisma and entertaining style that fans would watch. He's also polarizing, and those traits are recipes for becoming a superstar in boxing. All he needs to do is just to be consistent in his wins. Teo is currently in a good position to land a big fight now. Either unify with the WBA champion Isaac Pitbull Cruz or move up to welterweight and challenge Brian Elmer Jr. for his WBO title. Winning either of those fights will put him back on track to reach boxing superstardom, but that's easier said than done. In my opinion, I think that Teo should fight in Miami more. Miami is an untapped market in boxing with a huge potential. It has a huge Latino population, particularly Cubans, and a sizable Honduran community, which can easily translate to boxing fans. It's also a huge entertainment and financial hub, with many tourists visiting year-round. Any big-time boxer like Tank or Canelo could easily sell out Miami. So if Teo is looking to establish himself, Miami would be the perfect place to do it. But who knows, this is boxing, anything can happen. Thank you for tuning in with AEO Boxing from Adiba. Hit like, subscribe, and more content coming your way.